Okay folks, continuing on here, I got all the casting bolts, the 4 down there, and these everything's torqued down, and the tractor is technically back in one piece again as far as the main castings and frame go. I got the, it's going to be kind of crappy here trying to do this one-handed, but I just got to finish torquing this pump down here. I got all the bolts started, just don't have it tightened down yet in place here, so that's what I'm doing here right now. Of course, I got never sees, like I say, in the threads of all the bolts here. Got everything, anything rust and bad crusty dirt has ran over the wire wheel on the bench grinder there. I got a wheel on there and zip all the dirt off. So okay, no, this is not a very good. This is one of these 24-inch breaker bar ratchet handle. I love it, but it's just kind of one of those local tool supply house, no-name brand Chinese imports. Surprisingly, we've had this this wrench has been around here probably 10-12 years or whatever. It's still going, but it's kind of coming to the end of its rope here. So really, I'd like to replace this with a Mac Tools long handle 1/2-inch drive ratchet, like a their claim to fame, their unbreakable 1/2-inch drive long handles. They've got some really nice. I like that ratchet. I've seen it, and they're supposed to be pretty tough. Guys can really reef on them. So that's on the to-do list of tools to get or whatever. So I will be at some point getting a hold of one. Of course, I'll probably be trying to find a good used one, because hang on here. It's probably going to be a good used one, because the new ones that I've whatchamacallit, I checked the price on them, and I think they're somewhere in my local market here around $400 for one of those. So kind of out of reach, or unattainable, so to speak. I know, man, this is a hard place to get into. You can't hardly get in here. I missed out on a couple that sold on online auctions last winter here. A couple of those long handle Mac ratchet breaker bars there. I think, oh, I don't know, they went for pretty reasonable, like $60 or $80 or something like that. So I should have been a little more. There we go. I should have been a little more on the bean or awake at the time. I guess I was half asleep or whatever. That's how it is sometimes. The person isn't, you know, you're not paying attention. Of course, you're not dead of winter here. I'm not doing much mechanicking, so I missed out on it. Of course, now you think of it when it's you only think of these things when you're fully into doing this kind of mechanicking stuff. So okay, we got one click at a time here. Anyways, I'll bring you guys back here, and again here when I get a little further along here. I'm just going to keep moving along here and keep assembling, keep going here, and I'll bring you folks back here in a bit. Okay folks, continuing on here, what I was talking about here before about these flange coupler here for the drive on the front of these pumps here. Like I say, this shaft with that coupler there, if you remember in the earlier clip here, one of the videos here, I showed there how that's made or whatever. Well, this is what it looks like when it's in here. If I can get in and show. It's got four bolts here, and it bolts into the front flywheel pulley here. So it drives your pump. And the reason that this is a moving coupler here that slides back is so you can literally take your belts off and then slip it up in between. It's a pretty tight squeeze. That's a 5/8 head bolt in here. I've got a 5/8 kind of a long handle box wrench here. It's just to say that I'm able to get in here. Technically I should have a, this would be okay to tighten down here to finish tightening it here, but to get it started I should have a 5/8 open end or a 5/8 stubby deep offset box, double box end or whatever to get in here, which I do have. At this rate, I've been back and forth to the garage 20 times today, here this afternoon here already, and I've already got everything hauled out onto the yard here working on this thing. And unfortunately the tractor is sitting on the opposite side of the yard from the shop, so I got a lot of miles to make back and forth here, so doing what I can, best I can here. Again, those double stubby box end deep offset wrenches are getting hard to find. As far as I don't think there's too many companies that actually make them new right now. Snap-on years back in their vintage tools used to make a nice set. So did Mac tools. And going back further into the 1950s and 60s, I know Bonnie, like Bonaloy and Gray Tool Canada, they used to make them as well. I know. Yeah, see, I don't even get in here to get this started. I've got an 11/16 whatever here. It's a little bit too big, but it's just big enough to get this. I'm just trying to get these started here. So I'm not. There's no tension. I'm not gonna strip anything here or round any corners here. I am gonna probably just go and get the proper wrench. Go get the proper wrench for this here, because this isn't working. But in upcoming videos here, I'm gonna do a video on some of the vintage tools or whatever, and why I like the quality of them over some of the new stuff now. Like even the old, like here, old Fuller brand here. This is not Fuller as in the cheap Fuller, modern, what everybody knows from the hardware stores. This is the old Fuller from Japan, the Japan-made ones, the old KTC tool company. I think it was Kyoto Tool Company or whatever they were called. KTC Japan. They used to make for Fuller, or they were owned Fuller, I guess, at one time or whatever. I don't know what the story is there, but. My dad had a whole set of these double open end for doing hydraulic, getting in tight spots or doing hydraulic fittings and stuff. And of course, being a mechanic over the years, everybody is always, other mechanic buddies or whatever, hey, can I borrow this wrench, can I borrow that wrench? And Dad was always one of those that wanted to help out and couldn't say no, so he did. And then I think literally over half of this set or whatever, he had a full set from small little ones right up to great big 1 inch or 1 1/8 or something like that or whatever. And literally all we had is like 3 of these left after all the years of guys borrowing and not bringing back. And same with, he had a complete set of stubby double end box wrench Bonnie Bonaloys from the 1960s. Those were really good little wrenches. They were tough as nails, and man, did we use the snot out of them. He had like a 3 or 4 piece set of them from 3/8, 7/16 up to like 5/8, 3/4 or whatever in the stubbies. So he only had, towards the end of his life, he only had one left, a half inch 9/16, and that was his favorite wrench, and I used it lots too. And unfortunately, a couple of years before he passed, he took it out in the field with him, and he forgot it on either he figured he left it on the back of a rake frame or in his back pocket, and he sat down on the ground. He got up, I guess it fell out, and he knew he lost it, and man, he practically mourned over that wrench or whatever. So. Interestingly enough, in the last, this past winter, I had spent a lot of time looking around and stuff or whatever to find him a replacement, and I couldn't find anything, and kind of breaks my heart that he passed away, still talking about that wrench or whatever, just weeks before he passed or whatever, wishing he could find another set. And he says, well, I guess it'll never happen now in this stage of my life. And I said, well, there's always eBay, I says, and he said, well, that's probably not gonna happen. And he had, I had looked around or whatever for him and on eBay, and at the time there was nothing. And I've looked periodically over the last 3-4 years, and nothing. And then all of a sudden, this past winter here, I found his, well, not his, but the exact same what he had, an old half-inch 9/16 double short stubby box end, double box end, and for a really good price. Like, and the person I think wanted something like $8 or $10 for it. The shipping cost more to get it here than the actual wrench. So when I got it when the package showed up here, it was, I don't know, it was kind of an emotional moment for me or whatever to finally have back. I mean, it wasn't his wrench, but to have that wrench back or whatever, to find another one just like it, it was yeah, it was something special for me. And then literally 3 weeks after that, I found the next size bigger, I think a 9/16 5/8, and literally just about 2-3 weeks ago here now, like a few months on, I found another one of the larger part of his set or whatever, the 5/8 3/4, I believe it is. So even I seen the other day there was a little 3/8 7/16 somebody had one at Pop. The other day one came up, so probably picking that up too or whatever. So yeah, I spent a lot on shipping getting them, but I one by one, piece by piece, I've actually put his old set back together, and yes, they are handy. I've already used them in a couple of whatchamacallit, those short stubbies you can get into places just to hold a nut on the backside of something where you can't get in. So anyways, I've rabbled on long enough here. We're going to continue on. I'm going to go get the right wrench to do this here, and I'll get this bolted down here, and then we'll continue on here. We'll start hooking up some of these hydraulic lines and stuff here. So okay folks, well, we're moving right along here. I got the front coupler bolts in and torqued down. The main pump bolts are tightened, torqued down. Got our hydraulic in-feed line and our high pressure output line, and the return from the steering or pressure to whatever. Anyways, another little feeder line. That's all back on, tightened up, ready to go, and I think I'm pretty much now ready to I'm going to try and slip the radiator back in here, so bring you back here again shortly when we get along with that here. Okay folks, well, moving right along here. You can see got a little bit more together here than the last little bit here. Got the radiator set back in here, and got to finish bolting down the fan shroud here, or the wind or the air deflector here. Got the front shrouds back in, and one of the rad mounts here. Everything is all bolted back down, tightened down. Like I say, got all the lines hooked back up. Now all I got to do is finish putting the little bolts or screws in here into the fan shroud, and then I got to tighten up my fan belts, alternator belts there, and get that tightened up, and then keep on moving along here. Then I gotta mix up a fresh batch of diesel antifreeze here while I'm at it. I got it was pretty much not quite ready to be changed yet, but the antifreeze was pretty much just at the tipping point where I was gonna have to drain it and put new stuff in anyways, so it works out or whatever. Well, I got some concentrated diesel antifreeze there. I got to cut it down with some distilled water, and then get everything filled back up, and get a extra gallon or so of hydraulic oil back into the transmission, so make up for what we lost out of the pump here. So anyways, we'll get back on with it here, and we'll get back to you here shortly. Okay folks, well, we pretty much got everything buttoned back up here on this tractor now. All the hoses and everything are tightened up, all the clamps are in and on and tightened down, and all the hydraulic lines and everything is pretty much ready to go here, except I gotta, like I say, I gotta retop it up here with antifreeze, and after that well, that'll be the next video, I guess, here of me firing it up and checking everything over, make sure, see if my handiwork here on this pump is sealed up and working like it should. So but for now, I think we're going to call this a wrap here. I've been at this quite a while here. So anyways, just like to say thank you for everyone stopping in and checking out this video, whether you're a new viewer or a return. I appreciate everybody's support, and you know, I hate asking, but YouTube always wants you to, so be sure to like, subscribe, share, and again, appreciate everybody's support, and we'll see all you folks on the next one. So anyways, until then, take care.